Okay, that's the end of. Are there any questions?
You see, there's a different generation of young people out here now. Why do you think that that the people in our community, you know, the black community specifically, are not as organized and mobilized against his, you know, system of racism as they were when you all were involved back then?
You know, I kind of think progress is taken. You know, it's kind of like we talked about what we had to give up when we for integration. It's the same way about elected officials. Our answers are not always elected officials. Our answers are in us taking responsibility for being citizens of this country, okay, and doing what we have to do to maintain that citizenship, and that's really important for black folk. Because black elected officials are not going to guarantee you no freedom. And that's the whole thing about vote for me and I'll set you free. When you get free from voting for somebody. And you know, voting is a choice. But freedom and dignity and hope and all those things can't be a choice no more. We got too many people in jail. We got too many people not going to school. Too many things are going wrong.
Too many people in the cemetery.
And some of it, the whole thing is being perpetuated by people saying, vote for me and I'll set you free. It's not just about voting, and people need to know that.
I'm saying, why do you think that people in our community are not as involved as you all were back then when you all were protesting?
That's to me, part of it is, you know, they turn everything over to the elected officials to handle. That's part of it. They figure that's their job, and they wash their hands of everything. That's part of it. The other part of it is, you know, being disaffected by it. You know, there's so many things that can go wrong in the black community. All they want to do is go home and go to work, take care of their kids, and you know, just want to live every day. People get tired of fighting all the time. You know, I do. Every time you turn around, can't you? And so that's part of that, being disaffected by what's happening around you. But you know, somehow or another, we're gonna have to get out of that. I don't know how, but you have to get out of there. But at that time, back in the 60s, everybody knew what we were fighting for. And when we were fighting, we knew what we were fighting for. It's not that clear anymore that we know what we're fighting for. You know what I mean? Everybody got a different reason to fight. And then too, like I said, the excuse is always, now you can vote. One man told me, oh, you don't have to go back in the back of the bus no more. You can go downtown and talk to that man. And see, the point is, whether he listen to me, he's not going to listen to me. So the whole thing to me is teaching your kids that you have a responsibility to be a citizen. I think part of the problem in the black community is as soon as we got to be citizens, we got a slap back. You know, it's constantly we're moving 2 steps forward, 1 step backwards. So that makes us less hopeful for the future, and it makes you not want to fight. See what I mean? It makes you not want to do anything, because a lot of times we feel our own people have let us down too. So, but we let ourselves down a lot of times.
Maxine, do y'all have anything on the little man that had the shotgun that was killed by how many shots out there in East Lake area?
You talking about the man that was shot 53 times?
Yes.
Yeah, we got information on it.
We just got information, but last time I talked to his dad, they dismissed his case. They dismissed the case. They dismissed the case. And they dismissed the case because they say he had a gun.
Death by cop.
Did they show the gun that he had?
No, but they talked about him having a gun because he was trying to commit suicide with it.
Maxine, if I were an elected official, I would offer you a public apology. I remember those years. I'm a native Chattanooga, and I remember when that happened, and my heart broke for you. And I admire you so much for not giving up and, you know, pursuing justice. It's the principle of it. Now, I know you're
I
tired.
appreciate you saying that, but the thing is, I want a resolution. I don't want to spend the rest of my life fighting this. You know, and I want somebody
What's really shameful is once you all sued the government and changed that form and allowed us to have black leaders, they should have gotten behind you. First of all. And they didn't do it. That's
well, we
shameful.
weren't the right. That's what I'm saying. That's part of our problem. The organization is in that we were not the right kind of people. They didn't even want us on the lawsuit.
No.
They didn't want us on the lawsuit because of Lorenzo's hijacking the plane. Because Ann and I were poor. We didn't have money to contribute, and we weren't original leaders in the city. But that's what I'm talking about. You know, civil rights don't belong to one person. Don't belong to one group. It belongs to all of us, and everybody got a responsibility to step forward.
Yes.
And when somebody's trying to push you out of that, you got to fight that too, because that's that elitism that we have in our black community.
Yeah.
That's that. You know, we still got the idea that women are not supposed to be speaking out publicly. We got the whole idea about women are supposed to take back seat. Well, no. No, that ain't going like that.
You need to be to for the fighting us off right now, because they try to put Tommy Brown and Joanne Favors in the same district, and that is wrong. Who gonna stand out there? I've been preaching it for the longest. Who is standing out there to fight that right there?
Well, I think they need to get together the people that's been voting for them to fight for it.
Yeah.
That's who I think they need to fight for. I don't think they need to be in the same district. But if they don't fight for it, if they don't get the people they represent to fight for it, who's gonna fight for it?
Let me ask you about the witnesses. Track them down. You know, the ones that were in the jail with your father.
They got statements, but see, the city used some of those. What the city did was put a whole bunch of inmates, because this was a civil lawsuit, and it's by preponderance of the evidence. I mean, how much evidence? So they put a bunch of inmates on the witness stand and say my dad was turning flips and running into the bars and all that kind of stuff. But every one of those people, there was an opportunity for them to have gained something. You know what I mean? Because the city they were in custody of the city. They were going to be tried by the city. They might have been sent away by the city. So they had something to gain. Of course they're going to talk the way the city wanted them to speak. So, but all of them got statements. All of them gave statements. And then some of those witnesses' statements, you could read it either way. You know, it just depends on what you were looking for.
What was that witness statement that was up on the poster over there that was talking about how the police were beating them? I read that.
That guy right there is one of the witnesses that Tom Kennedy sent for, that he's trying to say that really committed the murder. And so he never took the witness stand. And so it's several of them. Him, a man by the name of Keith, and Ronald Banther are the ones that they were trying to say that actually killed my father. So, but I talked to the city attorney, says, well, you know, suppose they're the wrong man. So what? It's just crazy. They don't want to do anything about it. They really don't.
Is anything being done about the current murders that are going on in the Chattanooga jails?
No, because you got a close relationship between the Department of Justice, the FBI that works here, and the United States Attorney that works here, and there's never going to be anything. What they want you to do is sue. They want you to sue and settle. They don't want it to be in court. And we were punished because we went to court. And all this information came out.
There have been 2 out-of-court settlements for fees in excess of $1 million without admission of guilt.
Recently, like in the last decade or so?
Yes.
But see, that's what's so important about filing that complaint with the United Nations Human Rights Council, because just recently, I think it was last year, the Human Rights Council made 228 recommendations to the United States government of Obama administration. Some of those recommendations, I think they adopted 167 of them, something like that. One of the recommendations had to do with the criminal justice system, racialized politics, police brutality, racial profiling, and the deaths in custody of the police officers. And the Obama administration acknowledged that. And also it had to do with the death penalty. So some of that stuff is important for people, even if you don't think it's going to work, to make those complaints. And it has to be victims and victims' families to do it. Problem is, one of the problems in the city of Chattanooga is you can't get these victims together. You got people in the black community telling folk like they told against such. You don't want to work with these folks. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to work with these folks. These folks crazy. That character assassination. That's why we can't get organized. That's why it's not that many black folk in this room.
That's right.
Because everybody got something to gain. You know.
Does anybody else have any questions?
Could you say a little bit more maybe about the Cousin v. Saranac case? I believe that's what you said, the one about the court, the judges and...
Yeah, Cousin versus Sundquist. That was filed in 1990, immediately after we won the lawsuit to change the form of government. It was also filed under the Voter Rights Act. And I think we won that case. That case took, yeah, we won that case the first go around. All the judges recused themselves here. And we had to get a judge from Greenville, Tennessee, and I think his name was Thomas Hull. He ruled in our favor, and one of the things he ruled on was that he said that the combined effects of electoral politics and the judicial system, as practiced in the city of Chattanooga, Tennessee, has served to subjugate the black community. That's what Judge Thomas Hull said. So, but the city judges, they appealed the case, and they had to come back then and do a study about how many people had been arrested who were black and who were white, what the judge's decision was. That kind of study was done. That took 7 years, and when it came back, I think they won again, but they still wanted, they won the case, but they wanted to do something about the judges anyway, so it went before the General Assembly for the legislators to change the way the judges were elected, or some mechanics of that. And so they hadn't done anything though. They hadn't done a thing. It's still up there. And at that same time, Sundquist put into place the Title VI Commission, which was supposed to monitor federal funds and how make sure they were not used in a discriminatory fashion. And so they set that in place. But then in 2005 again, the man who was running that Title VI Commission was he just quit or something, because every 5 years, and he was the only one in the office, and they never investigated one case, never looked at anything. So it's just been a mess in Tennessee. Y'all got to get y'all's place together.
Can you talk more about the mayor that was an FBI agent?
Yeah, that was Gene Roberts. He was an FBI agent for 3 years. And one of the places he served was in Los Angeles. And when when Dr. Brooks asked, when Dr. Brooks was asking for an independent investigation, and it was already, the FBI was already aware of this case, and so Tom Kennedy just went ahead and made it known that the FBI was looking at the case anyway. So that's who they sent the case to, and they kind of, like, you know, they stirred it in that direction. But Gene Roberts was one that he's been accused of being the one who instigated the whole setup with Geronimo Pratt. Geronimo Pratt stayed at Black Panther in Los Angeles, that they said killed someone out there, and they put him in prison. And Johnny Cochran was his lawyer and continued to fight to get him out of prison as he became a political prisoner all those years. So he finally got him out in the 1990s, late 1990s. He had been in there 27 years. But Gene Roberts had a lot to do with that. And that's why this whole case, the Suttles case, is so suspicious. Because they were going to make sure that nobody's going to be held accountable in this case, in any of these cases, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, I just have a comment.